It's Billy. Right now. Yo, what if I got attacked by the clones? What if the builder think they found a better stone? What if the beat don't match with the metronome? What if that means you walk your path alone? Call me a vagabond. If all these streets leading to Rome, then wherever I lay is my home. It's Brooklyn, boy strong. I manifest, I'm in the zone. Y'all silly better back up off my throne. Listen, boy nice, better give him his propers. How we come out sane from all the mosh pits. How we found the key to the game without a locksmith. How we seem to manage these lanes is so obnoxious. He let it flow from the brain, trusting the process. A vet journeyman on multiple rosters. If I want it, I go out and get it and cop it. A monster with limitless options. Man, like goddamn, y'all gon' soon figure out who I am. We stay cooking, y'all used to that span. Western beef, I might square up at the square dance. Look, I change plans, not even a southpaw, I'm an outlaw with a rare stance. Your crew never had a fair chance.
Why's that?
I kill a whole bear with my bare hands. Oh, they studied the dark? Well, I was raised in it. Brain shifted, the kid displayed insane physics. Best story never told, and it ain't finished. How we handled the rock, spun and kept the same pivot. I frame different, hot like a flame kitchen. A whole 2 levels out of your range gifted. Catch me on the highway, lane switching. Or right at the top of your bay wish list. It's Billy. Right now. It's Billy.
What up, y'all? I love that. What up, y'all? Welcome. How Billy sees it. That was my song. I just dropped that today, actually, called Right Now. I'm really proud of that, yo. I got this beat from a dude I found on YouTube, man. First Official, really talented, man. He's got a ton of beats. He's selling on his site and on YouTube, and I contacted him and was able to drop some bars on that, so that was a lot of fun. And yeah, still kind of feeling the buzz off of dropping that. Every time I publish a written work or especially music, it's very new to me, so I have this buzz. Even getting on here, like I said, a lot of times there's a lot of anxiety, and you know, I try to interpret it. When I interpret it more positively, it's buzz. I feel kind of excited about dropping something new and getting people's feedback and seeing how it goes. So that joint is great. I'm already looking forward to making some more music. 2023 is going to be even more interesting forays into music as well, yo. So look out for that. What up? How Billy sees it. This is December 19th, 2022. It is Monday, and I'm starting late because Sheba and I are just getting back from Virginia. We drove way out into Norfolk, Virginia. Good 4-hour drive down there to see a wake and a funeral for a family member. So kind of an uncle-in-law for me. But so I got to meet a whole new separate set of the family that I don't usually see. They're out deep in Norfolk. And then a couple of people that I've known already from the family, from really, you know, they're my in-laws. They're really cool people. And it was an interesting experience too. First of all, driving down there, Sheba and I had fun driving down, but I haven't been at a funeral in a long time. And I was pleased, I think, just to meet people, but to see the energy, man. It was a lot of celebration of life and a lot of camaraderie. It was an opportunity to get people together, which, you know, obviously you always want it to be under better circumstances, but you get family together, you get the opportunity to convene and to, you know, bring up good memories and all that. That's a good look. So it was cool. And then we had to drive back up. So starting at 9:30, and I'm gonna make this a short one. Usually I'm on here for an hour. I think today we're gonna make it a half hour, guys, and I'll keep it moving. But I definitely wanted to get on it's been such a hectic week and a hectic weekend, so much going on, and we want to be consistent. Things are moving so well. This Saturday, 2 days ago, we did Saturday morning cartoons, and we did it on girls. It was a corollary to the boys that we did the week prior, and it was a great time. It was a great combo. I hope you check that out. See it on BillyButton.com. And yesterday, Sheba dropped Sheba Sunday. It was her 4th episode, and this one was really, really dope. She goes into 2 big topics right now, which is Megan Thee Stallion, her court case, and the recent suicide of Twitch, who's the dancer, celebrity, who used to dance on Ellen, black man. She made some really great observations, yo, about the ways we approach death, the sort of platitudes and the things we say to people when they die, or about people who've died. And she did a great job, I thought, of trying to juxtapose that, sort of the way we talk about death and life and love for people, and versus the way we treat people in life. And she made an interesting appeal to be kinder, among other things, yo. So it was really dope. Check that out too. Sheba Sunday. So yeah, I mean, it was all that. So we had those 2 big episodes. We also chilled and hung out. Just got back from deep in Virginia. But it keeps me in that refrain, I guess. We're talking about, since we're coming back from a funeral, we're talking about death and life and what it means. What does it all mean, y'all? What does it mean? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's a beautiful experience that we're in. And, you know, it's beautiful. And for some people, it's less than beautiful. And you know, and I think life is, as everyone says, it's this very strange opportunity to get up in the morning and to engage on this plane, shall we call it? This plane of existence, this space-time, shall we call it? And we get to engage and we get to create. So, and we get to collaborate and coordinate with other people who are themselves interested in engaging and creating, and they have a different perspective and a different set of goals and ideas on how to do that. So you have this opportunity to connect and talk about what each of us is doing, you know, and how we're doing it, how we're going about it, how we're feeling. So the Twitch thing is really sad, and just to piggyback on Sheba for a second, since she goes on Sundays, I go on Mondays, so I get this opportunity to jump and talk about the things that she said. She doesn't get to really do that. But you know, people have this shock about, you know, Twitch seems to be a celebrity, seems to be a well-paid celebrity, and you see the smiles and you see the energy that he brought all the time. And it just reminds me to always recognize that you are just behind. Whatever you're looking at is not a full story, particularly when you're talking about people. And to come with kindness and to come with love and to come with creativity, you know. That's kind of where I see it. Like Sheba got there and she talked about it in such an interesting way. She also talked about, and especially the way Sheba brought it, she talked about Megan Thee Stallion and Meghan Markle. You know, while people are calling for respect for the dead and be kind and call your strong friend kind of thing, in the wake of Twitch, you know, we have these other cases of these two black women, and they're just examples of a whole broader suite of the ways we treat each other, where these two black women are in positions where they're being, in life, shown a lot of disrespect. And I think they've both talked about contemplating suicide in their different ways. And again, you look and you go, oh, celebrities, rich, oh, they should have everything. How could they ever, why would you want to leave here? We're not kind to each other. We're not great to each other. We haven't elevated those values. And so those values are not present in almost anything that we do. We do a lot of lip service, and we can all do better to be kinder to each other. You know, I said I want to make this a shorter one, so I'm trying to think what do I want to get into that won't get me going for an hour, right? Because I'm trying not to do that, but shoot, let me get into it. Yeah, like the service was Christian in its orientation, and it was a beautiful service, and there was a lot of respect shown for my uncle-in-law Charles, who's no longer with us. But you know, the concept of God again, man, it's like I am reminded that we don't know enough. We don't know anything. We don't know, you know, each other's pains. We don't know the struggles that we're going through. A lot of us don't know the struggles that we are ourselves going through. We don't properly orient ourselves toward ourselves, look deeply into the mirror, ask difficult questions, become really painfully honest about our motivations and our actions and the repercussions and how we actually are present in a space, you know. And I think that's super important. One of the best ways to do that is to listen to each other. Sometimes you can be acting in a way that feels very benign and self-interested, but benign. We all need to act. Every time we do something every day, we act, and you may not know how you're affecting people, but when you hear another person, when someone is able to articulate to you something, to listen, to be part of that, to engage with that, and to take it in, and to allow your world to expand. You know, sometimes you get a critique, and I'm guilty of it, man. I get a critique, especially with art. I'm saying, you know, Erykah Badu says I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. I get it, you know, but you get this critique or a compliment or whatever. In either case, to be capable of listening and to incorporate more truths into our understanding and to show love and to be creative with each other. Yeah, I'm reminded that we don't know anything. We don't know. We know so little, and yet I think the world and the stresses of the world and paying the bills that we have to pay and these interactions in our workplaces and such, they give you a sense that you know a great deal, and the sense that you know a great deal gives you a false comfort. You know, looking at someone, you know, if I reunite with a friend from high school, and that was cool to see. He had my uncle-in-law had, I think, something like a dozen high school buddies that showed up to pay their respects tonight. That was interesting to see. But I catch up with someone, I don't know them. I know them, but they don't know, you know, like things are different. Even every minute, this reminder is a reminder that every minute is a new minute, and that we're kind of reborn into a new version of ourselves at every moment. Anytime we can shoot off into another space and we take in new information and we become different, and we should flow with that, and we should allow for that. When you meet the person, when you're reunited with a person, you're reuniting with someone different than the last time you had interacted with them. And to show love and to be meaningfully interested in what that means and who they are. And hopefully you get the reciprocal thing. That's the kind of way we operate. I think if we operated in a space that was truly consistent with that value of love, consistent with that value of cherishing people while they're alive, cherishing people while they're alive as they show up, as they are. These are like values that have to kind of be built, and they're kind of muscles that have to be built because I think we've all been taught something very different about like the nature of this experience, the nature of who we are. And we exist in a system that really rewards you for selfishness. and they like to, we simplify things and we categorize things and we mistake the categories with what is. We mistake these simplified categories with what is. And as I've said in other videos, you sit across from a person, you're not sitting across from any word that you might choose. You're not sitting across from a woman or a man or a black man or a this or that, or even whatever title, a teacher. You're sitting across a very complex person. So it all, I got a little bit emotional because a few people got emotional and I felt that, and it just got me into thinking all this stuff. If I take that the deepest though, if I take this whole concept of, I don't know stuff, not just with people, but with everything. The world is so vast and complex. It brings me to a different conclusion, right? It brings me to a place of like calm too, yo. Because I feel calmer. I think for me, a lot of the anxiety I used to feel growing up and now is this sense that every choice I make is deeply, profoundly important, and that everything I do, will have some result. I need to be making the good choice every time. And so this is a deep sense of anxiety to make sure I'm never making the bad choice. But again, events like today, conversations around suicide and Twitch, put me in a mindset to realize that, because they said this frequently. Someone had the mic and she kept saying like, this is a dress rehearsal. Everyone in this room is gonna die. Everybody, no one knows when their number is up. And it's facts. It's facts. So not only do we have to be present so that we can properly engage with what is, with the marvelous, magnificent brilliance of each person that we know in our lives, but further than that, right? If I sit here and I think that I have my whole life planned out, and I know what's going to happen next year in 2023. I know exactly what's going to happen in 2024, and I'm going to make it so, and I got to keep making. It's like that. It's like the saying. It's the saying that you make plans, and then God says, God had other plans. We just don't know. There's so many things going on. Like if I could sit down and come up with a plan, I can calculate a plan. And I should move towards that plan, but I need to leave space for and be open to and be honest about just how little I know. Whatever my plan is, necessarily, if I've come up with a cogent plan, a plan that makes sense, it's dependent on old information. Necessarily, yo. That's the brilliant thing. That's the crazy thing to realize. It's dependent on things that have already occurred. It's dependent on my prior assumptions, prior definitions, prior states of being that I've observed, or advice I've gotten from even older people for whom the world is very different. I mean, 2020 showed us that, right? We're living through a mass death event, even as we live and we carry on our business and we try to find happiness, but stuff is wild. There's still, what is this? They call it a triple pandemic thing going on. I mean, this is really interesting stuff. This is stuff that people will be reading about and watching about and learning about. You know, how did those guys live under those conditions? You know, the people reading and watching this will have their own problems somewhere down the line. We can't even fathom them. Anyway, maybe I'm going off a little bit, but just like, we don't know anything. My plans are valid and worth doing, but they will require updates. I will need to, especially if I'm going to be grounded and able to properly navigate the whole deal. I will have to take into account that there are things going on right now. I'm here. I plan to get on How Billy Sees It with you, but there are things happening in this neighborhood, in Baltimore, in other parts of the world that are entirely out of our control and will have meaningful, effects, ripple effects on everything. And so, even as someone, I go back and forth with calling myself an atheist. As I've said, I've been an atheist for a lot of my adult life. These days, I am interested in something, I might call it spiritual. I think I'm talking about a realm that doesn't have a lot of language. And so I might call it spiritual. There are things completely unknown to us and unperceivable to us that are at play. But even things that are perceivable, politics and nature and human relations, and to me everything is this. Everything is this thing. Some of us call it God. Some of us have other names for this thing. And again, in the past, when people would say God, I'd have this aversion to it because I don't know exactly what they're talking about. But I want to say, when I hear people use the word God, I understand and I connect, and I have that capacity to connect with what I believe they're trying to say. There are certain, I told myself not to go down this path because I'm like, I don't got the time today. But I think that when I describe a system of things that are happening outside of our control, outside of our perception, but that are relevant to our experience, I think we're talking about God. And so I'm talking about the entire thing. And I was just powerfully reminded of how powerful each moment is, and also how limited our perceptions are, how limited our time is with each other on this planet, in this realm, and that it's another paradox that we are kind of deeply powerless to these broader forces and at the same time intensely powerful. I talk about some of these paradoxes in a video called What is Love Though? And that's what this is, it's nuts. Ooh, Giselle, what's up? 2020 was a reminder to many humans that they are no match for nature, earth, galaxy, universe. Exactly. Agnostic. I'm an agnostic secular Buddhist. I love it. Giselle, that's what's up. That's interesting. Yeah, man. Nature, earth, galaxy, universe, God. The deep, deep complexity of everything that is in this moment. All of us. The birds, the bees, the plants, the flora and the fauna, even the machinery that we create, the things that exist that we've constructed for our different creative purposes that are, here. This is all part of a massive thing. And as I've said, these things are moving without our conscious intention. the trees are growing without our conscious intention. My lungs, thankfully, are working and pumping without me being consciously aware. The eyes, the cones, and the rods in my eye, and realize how that works. And I just think the more we like come in tune with that truth, the less options we have other than love, because we're all in this very interesting creative predicament, and with the potential for horrendous harm and also incredible beauty. Just another paradox. Like, all things are true in this space. It's very weird. One's destiny is often found in the path he takes to avoid it. Winky face regarding not wanting to get into this topic. Sheba, you're right. Yeah, it just made sense to get into this since topics of death and suicide have presented themselves this weekend, and then also, I think if we're talking about death, then we're also talking about life. We're talking about, like, you can't talk about one without the other. They are deeply connected, and so looks like it's about time. But I'm just gonna say, I guess I just want to end with that kind of note. This awareness of just how little we know and perceive, But if you notice, if you have this capacity, really, it's a beautiful, perhaps spiritual capacity to pull out of our own narratives in our own head, because we spend most of our lives very much stuck in our heads, and our brains construct a working narrative for us about what's happening to us, about who we are, about our agency in any moment. And these are self-constructed, sometimes often self-interested and self-beneficial. We find ways to carve out things to make ourselves, to grapple with this brilliant, paradoxical existence and this consciousness. And so I can look back as a younger person and I can see the ways I thought I knew something. I thought I was doing this and that, and I thought that it was me, and I was so stressed about X, when in fact there was so much more going on. So I find a lot of peace in being able to be present, drop my sense of that narrative. I try to show love and kindness to other human beings and be as present as possible, because again, even time is a narrative. We have clocks everywhere and calendars everywhere, and everything is now, and now is the only thing we have. And to think about that deeply and to contemplate what that means can be a little scary, but it's also deeply beautiful. And let's take care of each other while we can and while we have the opportunity. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna wrap with that, yo. It's 10. Again, Saturday morning cartoons. We haven't picked a topic yet. We're gonna figure that out. It's gonna be good. Check it out. Me and Sheba. That's Saturday morning at 11. Sundays at 1. Sheba does Sheba Sundays. You should check her out. She's a beast. She's way funnier than I am. And she gets into it. And I'm gonna do this every Monday, yo. So, oh yes, tomorrow at 3, I'll be on with Bill Fletcher. It's our first. I'm gonna attempt to do an interview in here for the first time, and Bill Fletcher is fantastic, so I'm looking forward to that. Thanks for coming on. Thank you for the comment, Giselle. Thank you, Sheebs. Peace, y'all. Love.
It's Billy. Right now. Yo, what if I got attacked by the clones? What if the builder think they found a better stone? What if the beat don't match with the metronome? What if that means you walk your path alone? Call me a vagabond. If all these streets leading to Rome, then wherever I lay is my home. It's Brooklyn, boy strong. I manifest, I'm in the zone. Y'all silly better back up off my throne. Listen, boy nice, better give him his propers. How we come out sane from all the mosh pits. How we found the key to the game without a locksmith. How we seem to manage these lanes is so obnoxious. He let it flow from the brain, trusting the process. A vet journeyman on multiple rosters. If I want it, I go out and get it and cop it. A monster with limitless options. Man, like goddamn, y'all gon' soon figure out who I am. We stay cooking, y'all used to that spam. Western beef, I might square up at the square dance. Look, I change plans, not even a southpaw, I'm an outlaw with a rare stance. Your crew never had a fair chance.
Why's that?
I kill a whole bear with my bare hands. Oh, they studied the dark? Well, I was raised in it. Brain shifted, the kid displayed insane physics. Best story never told, and it ain't finished. How he handled a rock, spun and kept the same pivot. I frame different, hot like a flame kitchen. A whole 2 levels out of your range gifted. Catch me on the highway, lane switching. Or right at the top of your bay wish list. It's Billy. Right now. It's Billy.